Oh, here we go. Mrs. Karmely, I believe you're here. You are here. Wonderful. All right, so Mrs. Karmely, I see you here. Sarah Karmely has joined us, and she's with us. We have almost 40 participants on tonight's virtual town hall. I'm excited. I think this is the fourth in a series of town halls we're going to have. I hope to have many such town halls and gatherings together in these very, very difficult times for all of us. Hello, Mrs. Karmely. We saw your hello. Wonderful. You're more tech-savvy than the rest of us. Look at you. I saw your hello, and we'll get you on the screen in a minute. I just want to introduce you. I'm sure you're going to be blushing, and you'll probably tell me, nah, don't do it, but I have to. Because for those of us who know Mrs. Sarah Karmely, we've known her for many years. We know how special she is, how brilliant she is. For those of us who do not, this invite went out to the greater community beyond Great Neck. So hopefully we have folks from maybe from Crown Heights, from Kew Garden Hills. Mrs. Karmely is a world-renowned speaker. She has bookings and speaking engagements throughout the world. I've actually begged her on many occasions to hide me in her luggage and take me along with her for free to Australia and other locations, but she's never agreed. Her husband's never agreed either, by the way. But nevertheless, she's a profound speaker, has very interesting insights. She is very, very popular amongst Chabad circles and Lubavitch circles. She is, I'll just go by her bio, so I'm not butchering it here. She's an expert in the field of family purity, relationships, love and marriage, and she's an enthusiastic speaker. I've been speaking for over 20 years. We remember her as kids in our community. She's also an author, and has been the director of the Talmud Torah in Shara Tova that we all have grown with and have loved. So without further ado, Mrs. Karmely, thank you very much for giving us your time and your insights. We'll now pull you into the live stream. So you should see an alert, Mrs. Karmely, if you accept. There you go. You're a tech expert, Mrs. Karmely.
Oh, yeah, don't you know? Thank you.
Good evening.
Hi.
How are you?
Thank God, everything is good. As long as we're alive, we're good. My mother would always say everything has a solution except for death. So we're here and we'll do what we've got to do.
That's a good line.
My mum and your mum are sisters. So just want to share a couple of things with you, just to help one another, to inspire one another, to strengthen one another. Everything happens is the tov. Everything happens is for the good. Just before this coronavirus hit, I was scheduled to do a big surgery. I broke my leg, and I had a appointment to do surgery. And just 3 days before the surgery, they called me. They said, "Sorry, we're canceling you because only elective surgeries, no elective surgeries allowed." But it was such a blessing in disguise, because I thought I was doing my surgery. I cleaned my whole home for Pesach. I did all my shopping. I did my Pesach shopping. And it's wonderful because now I would not have been able to do it because cleaning lady won't come. I'm not allowed to go out. So everything that happens is really the tova.
Of course, in the world of women, everything revolves around Passover and Pesach.
It really does.
For us men, we could care less. We don't even know what month of the year it is. But you ladies, 11 months ahead of time, you know exactly when Pesach is. You know if it's a one Adar year or double Adar year. For generations to come, you'll know it by heart.
That's for sure, we do. As you just say, we women, they say we're going from one Gula, one redemption of Purim, into another redemption of Pesach. And each of these Gulas, each of these redemptions concern us women. Why? Because in Purim, have you noticed, the Gula redemption was by a woman, Esther, the Malka. And Pesach is also by women. Why? Well, first of all, number one, Moshe Rabbeinu's mother, Yocheved, is a woman. His sister Miriam was the one who prophesied it's going to happen. And who saved him? Batya, your daughter. Batya actually was referred.
Wake her up and tell her to come. She'll be very happy for the honorable message she got.
Batya first was referred to in the Torah as the daughter of Pharaoh. After she did the big mitzvah of saving Moshe, she was called Batya, the daughter of Hashem, which shows what we women can do. So I just want to mention, in life, we can either be like a carrot, an egg, or coffee. Why? What happens to a carrot when it's in hot water? It disintegrates, it disappears. What happens to an egg? The more you boil it, what happens? It becomes tough, The more you boil it, the tougher it is. What happens to coffee? Oh, it's wonderful. It smells good, tastes good. It's a pleasure. So please, everybody out there, don't be like a carrot. We're in hot water. Don't disintegrate. Be what you got to do. Hold yourself together. Don't be like an egg and be too tough. You have to be there to help one another and empathetic to one another. We have to be like coffee, to be good and smile and give one another here's what we need to do.
Wonderful. I would just say, if I can make a request for the next time we do this town hall, can you just really adapt that to like include Cholon Chodab in it somehow? Because that's my favorite, and I'm sure probably 50% of the people here's favorite as well.
Well, my father's Qassabi, so he was Qassabians are famous for Cholon Chodab. So I'm ready anytime you want. I'm ready for you.
Okay.
We know this is a test of, it's just a big test of faith, of Emunah. Nothing bad happens from Hashem. You know that. It's all something about this is we don't know what it is. It's all hidden. That's why it's so frightening. But it's okay. Things that are hidden, we understand. There are many things we don't understand. Can I just share this with you? We have to be nullified to whatever Hashem is doing. It's not about us. We can't be arrogant. You know, I take herbs with a dropper. This dropper, okay, I take a medicine with, in order to take the herb, has to be empty, otherwise it cannot take the medicine. Mm-hmm. Ladies and gentlemen, my dear friends out there, we have to nullify what we are. We do what Hashem wants us to do. We can't go to pieces. Help one another at times and just not be scared. The main thing is not to be scared, because it's so easy to be frightened. But ladies and gentlemen, my last thing I want to say. Unless you have questions, I'd love to answer them.
What do you mean your last thing? We're here for at least half an hour minimum. We paid for half an hour.
5 minutes.
Half an hour easy.
I'm ready anytime. The truth of the matter is, what happened before Pesach? The last of the plagues, which was what? The Malach HaMavet, the angel of death, came to destroy the firstborns. And Hashem told us, his children, Jews, stay home, don't go out. It's not kedai to go, stay home. So just like then, we're stuck at home before Pesach. We're not allowed to go out because this Malach, this virus out there that we don't know what's going on. We're staying home. This is only because this is the last moments before the Geula. It's written when Mashiach comes, it's written, En pruta bekis, means there's not going to be a dollar in your pocket, coin in your pocket. And nowadays, unfortunately, a lot of stuff is going on. The people are losing their jobs and people are getting fearful. Be happy that this is the last moments before the Geula. That's it. This is it. We're done. I'm done. I don't know about you. I told Hashem, that's it. We want Mashiach now. And really, we're saying it with all our hearts. To be joyful, to be besimcha. Please, when you go out, when you see your mezuzah, you have mezuzah in your home, it has a shin, right? The stands for one of Hashem's names. Look at it as another letter. It looks like a shin. The sin of simcha. That when you go through that, you smile and you're just joyful, because please, nobody wants to stick around somebody who's not happy. So give yourselves a smile, and it's the best pickup you can. When you smile, everyone smiles with you. Try to smile at you right now, you're going to smile back at me. So smile at one another. It's
These
not
days
worth
we can
it.
smile all we want. No one sees our smile except our angry kids that are stuck at home. My daughter today, only took 3 days. My daughter today came in crying, saying, I want to go back to school.
Oh my gosh, that says a lot. No, it's all good. It's Gomzilla Torah. We can't, we can't read things into this. I just know everything right now. The whole world is shaking, and we just have to be positive and know this is for our good. He's our Abba.
This is true.
Sefer Hatana teaches, how do you ask Hashem what you need? He doesn't owe us anything. We're just grateful we're just alive. This is how you're supposed to ask Hashem, it says in Sefer Hatana, Kabbalistic work. We say, Abba, I'm your child, you're my daddy. I need this. Please help me. How can any father, can you refuse your kids when they ask you something? I'm sure you can't. We can't do it any other way. It's not, not magia. It's not mine to have. Hashem is doing me a favor just being alive. He gives us a 10-course meal. We want also dessert. Who's to say we deserve a 10-course meal? So we just have to be positive and be joyful and just help one another at times like this. Really, that's the only thing we have to do. When you help
I wonder if there's somebody here on the live stream that experienced like what it was like in Mashhad and times of oppression, where they did have to, hide in their houses, sort of like what probably we're going to be doing on Pesach. It just occurred to me as you were saying that's probably we have some experiences in our own community in the Anusei Mashad that pseudo-experienced what we're going to be experiencing in a couple of weeks.
Anybody has anything to add?
I'm sure we have lots of folks here, lots of participants. We have 52 with us now. It spiked before. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
I could add one little thing. I think in those days of Mashad, if a woman needed to go to mikveh, how did they go? They had to go underground. They had to go to the icy rivers. Well, nowadays, what do we do when we want to go to the mikveh? There's big machloket now. It's got, before you go, you have to get ready at home.
Right.
You have to sterilize everything. It's kind of like what's going on in Mashad.
Wow. That's I never even thought of that. That's amazing.
Yeah.
It's chilling, actually.
Yeah, it really is. Because, not every mikveh. I know mikveh Moshe allows, but other mikveh they don't allow.
They don't even allow attendance. They're just shut down.
Some shut down because they don't have. They don't have the capability of cleansing and doing everything they have to do beforehand. Yeah, which is really.
I think we should extend a big thanks to and Chazak Baruch to Mikveh Moshe and staff and boards that are managing, and Kol HaKavod to them.
Yeah, because they're keeping everything 100% the way it's supposed to be. Because that's one of the things, we can't stop doing that. It's going to stop our lives.
Wow. All right. I think Ms. Karmely gave us her 10-minute intro. Guys, the whole purpose of this is for us to have interactivity. Let's chime in. If you have questions, suggestions, comments, by all means, check in. Either jot them down here in the comment box below. Mrs. Karmely will see that, and hopefully we'll be able to address whatever your feedback is. Or just, I would prefer if somebody takes the camera so that I can get, I actually can't get off of here, but Mrs. Karmely wants to take a sip of water, I'm sure. So if somebody else jumps in, takes the camera, and maybe has a suggestion or a question for Mrs. Karmely, or a comment to what we heard, her introductory words of inspiration, that would be great. Previous to that, we did have somebody, I think it was Albert Basal, said that he's got this streaming on his TV. He says, I'm watching your Instagram on my TV with my family, and you should count us as 3.
I saw that, yeah. Yeah, we're mishpacha now with you. We are, yes. His brother's daughter married my granddaughter's twin. Yeah.
All right. That's right.
We're all mishpacha, everyone's family.
We are. Any other comments from Mrs. Karmely or questions? Don't all jump in at once here.
Anybody want to add to that or have any ideas? What we're the situation we're in right now? I think you must have some ideas or some opinions.
I'll chime in here myself personally. I hate to say this, but I've been seeing a lot of good in what we're going through. And the good that I see is, and I've never been this huge optimist where, cup half full and hakol tova and everything Hashem does is for good. I've never had that much, I would say, emunah or whatever. I'm just a regular run-of-the-mill guy. But I see the benefit of the kids. If the kids are around, we get to hang out. I get to be the phys ed teacher. We get to play ping pong. During the day, my youngest daughter did coding on a microbit board, which I've been begging her to do for 3 years, and she's been too busy. So I mean, it opens up opportunities, right? We're in a difficult time, but at the same time, there's a lot of benefit that I think that we can derive and aspire to if we just look for it.
Okay, I'm just answering Sadie. Sadie John, you are inspiring. You really are. You're amazing. I wanted to also just respond to Mr. Albert Bassal. He mentioned, why is this problem with virus is much stronger in those countries of the population? Actually, there are 3 countries who basically are really been hit very, very bad. One is China, one is Iran, and one is Italy. Why these 3 countries, you might ask? These are the countries. China, first of all, everybody knows it's a hotbed of atheism. They're atheists. The whole religion there's just atheism. So that's China. What about Iran? I mean, we know Iran is the one who's basically paying people to go and Basically, they're the ones who are behind all these people the terrorists they're paying the terrorists. You know that. We know this. And what's happening in Italy? Italy is a hotbed of what? Edom, the Vatican, who basically all these centuries have killed Jews in the name of their God. So I'm not a prophet, but this is something that we can see openly. Thank you, Abby John. Thank you so much. The truth is, really, all of us, we see this openly. If we just hold on and we're strong, not with fear, I mean with yira. Yira means like with awe of God. Because he's in charge, he's our Abba. He doesn't do anything bad to us. We just have to obviously do what we've got to do and hold on tight and just realize this too will pass. Nothing in life lasts. Good things don't last and bad things don't last, either one. So we just have to hold it in there and be joyous. Everybody's been through difficulties in life.
That's very true. That's very true. Thank you.
Can I just share one more thing? I know you said I can speak.
Please do. No. This is your evening. You're here. You're giving us your time, which we all appreciate very much.
There's a beautiful song sung by Levi Yitzhak of Berdichev. He was the rabbi who loved all Jews. He just loved all the Jews, and he wrote a love song to Hashem. It's called "You." Basically, it goes like this: You. Hashem is always you. When things are bad, it's you. When things are good, it's you. As long as it's you, it's okay. So the truth is, when everything's going on in the world, we know everything that's going on is through God. So as long as it's through Him and not through us, we're doing okay. Just have to be positive and the simple and joyous.
Right.
At my age, I could use all the facelift I can get. So when you smile, it lifts your face and makes you happy. So you don't need facelifts or anything. Just smile and be happy and joyous, really.
And you got out of your hip replacement. Come on, you still play soccer now with your husband.
It's amazing.
What else would you have done in an apartment?
I don't need the surgery. I'm running around. It's unbelievable. I don't know what's going on. Thank you, Hashem. It's all for Gamzulatovah. It's all for the best.
You should look up the doctor by the name of John Sarno, but that's for a different night.
Yes,
that explains why you don't have pain in your hip.
I have that book right over here. I can show it right on my desk right now. Yes, excellent book.
All right, we have D Flawless asking a question. Then please explain the numbers climbing in Brooklyn and Israel. I think he means, these are religious centers. Why are they climbing? I have a very simple, non-religious answer, but I'll let you.
No, you can. Go ahead.
I mean, very obviously to me is because these areas are not observing the mandates that are being put forth by the governments. We've seen videos of Haredi or Hasidic populations in Israel fighting the police, throwing stones at them, saying, you're not going to prevent us from congregating. And obviously those centers that disregard the directives are going to suffer a lot more of the contagion. They say that that's why China was able to get things under control, whether or not it's true, the numbers are true. But over there, they were afraid of it. So an American living in China says, they told us not to leave our houses, and we didn't leave our houses. So that you don't mess around with China when the government tells you to do something.
Oh, no. Well, basically, the answer, obviously, I think the kind of obvious answer is, in Brooklyn, unfortunately, most of Brooklyn did not listen to the rabbanim. They didn't listen to the rabbi. The rabbi said, you have to stay home. Now, when a rabbi said, I'm not talking about, Mickey Mouse rabbi. When the rabbanim say something and you don't listen, you're thumbing your nose to God, God forbid. You're supposed to listen to them. If you don't, then what's the miracle? You don't rely on miracles. When the rabbi says stay home, stay home. Don't become cleverer than God. You have to stay home. God is saying, if you stay home, you'll be safe. Stay home. What's a big deal? What's so hard in doing that?
That's a good answer. We have other comments here. My favorite, what do we have here? My favorite Talmud Torah teacher, Marina Hack. If you want to respond to that.
Marina, what's the question?
It's not a question, it's a comment. That's allowed.
I didn't see the comment. What the comments? Oh, wait. I have to. I'm so sorry.
The comment is you're my favorite Talmud Torah teacher, Marina Hack.
Oh, I love you. She's one of my. You should know when I started Talmud Torah, Marina was the first girl with who was the other one? I'm trying to remember. Marina.
He'll come to you. Happy Basar says, my wife sends love to you, Sarah Karmely.
Oh, I love you.
And Albert Basal is asking a question. I think we're gonna steer clear of halachic questions from Mrs. Karmely. She's not a poseket, so I think
Actually, I will just ask exactly the same question today with someone else, and I called a Rav exactly. You said yes, you can. If you want, if you're very, very, strict for him, you can use a special pot. But basically, you can make a special pot for him with no rice. But it's not chas v'shalom. It's just,
rice
it's basically it's not chametz. It's not chametz, definitely.
Right. All right. Having said that, we're almost half an hour into this town hall, virtual town hall. I want to try to get somebody on camera to grab the mic and camera and ask their questions or make their comments. Let's get at least one volunteer. So, Mrs. Karmely, with your permission, we'll just drop you for a second. Don't go anywhere.
Sure. Okay.
We'll get you right back. Hopefully, it'll be a question directed at you, and then you'll come back. And so I would like to try to motivate people to continue with the interactivity, grabbing the camera and the mic. So here we go. Folks. All right. We have the double faces down below. Tap on the double faces. You'll get the camera and the mic just like Mrs. Karmely was on, and you'll be able to make your comments, questions, or suggestions. Simon always has a question, but tonight it has to be without the scary mask because children didn't sleep last night because of naughty Simon. So it's got to be either someone else or Simon without a mask. Anybody else? Or I'm going to start sniffling really, really loud if nobody else chimes in and wants to take the camera. I'm going to specialize in some loud sniffles here. Nobody. All right. I think we're going to go back to Mrs. Karmely then. Back to Mrs. Karmely. If we can find her. Where are you? Mrs. Karmely, why don't you hit the double faces on the bottom, the two faces on the bottom, hit that, and you'll get back in. We want Albert. Albert, you have a big following here, a big fan base. Let's see. Mrs. Karmely, double smiley faces or double faces on the bottom. Tap that, or I'll try to find you. I'll try to find you this way. I think Mrs. Karmely disappeared. Let's see if she can rejoin. Is she here? Does anyone see her? Or she thinks she's here, but she's not. Just give us 1 second. She'll be back for, I guess, closing remarks. In the meantime, no questions. Nobody has a question for Mrs. Karmely that's willing to get on camera and ask the question. And here I am, plastering my face, that's not so pleasant to look at, on this live stream for an entire 26 minutes. Tell you some jokes in the meantime. Oh, here she is. Simon, sorry, just missed it. Ebi Basal, you have to tell us a joke. Mrs. Karmely is back, but yeah, I think Ebi should tell us a joke. Ebi, get that joke ready. Mrs. Karmely is here. She's going to give us some closing remarks, and then Ebi's going to throw us a couple of jokes and
yay,
and leave us with happy thoughts and happy feelings here. So, Mrs. Karmely, you're back. Nobody else wanted to get on camera. It's amazing. You're the only one that had any guts tonight.
You have to say jokes. We have to enjoy jokes. That's it.
How are things in the old barrio? How are things in Silver Towers, Queens?
It's interesting. What can I tell you? I'm very centrally located. I'm always flying around. So I think so far so good. I don't stay home much. I mean, I am now, but I'm always flying around the country. So I should tell you a joke? Okay, you ready? Okay. Adam was lonely, so God created Eve. Adam tells God, how come you created her so differently to me? And God says, like this, you will love her. So you will love her. 2 weeks goes by, and Adam tells God, why do you create her so stupid? And God answers, so that she will love you. It's a joke. Don't be upset, man. It's okay. There's other jokes. Sorry, go ahead.
That was an anti-man joke. That was a feminist joke.
Oh no, it's okay.
I'm gonna have to counter that. I'm gonna have to counter that.
So shall I say another joke? It's pro men. Okay,
Yeah,
a husband and wife are newlywed, and they're going on 2 donkeys in this desert. So all of a sudden, the donkey stumbles, and the man sitting on his donkey said to the donkey, "That's one."
Hey, that's my joke. That's a Pedro joke from 20 years ago.
Okay.
I resent that, but I'll let you continue.
So they went a little bit more, and the donkey stumbled again. And the man said, "That's 2."
It's actually the wife, and the wife's name is Carmelita. And he says to her, "Carmelita, second time." Go ahead.
So the 3rd time the donkey stumbled, he shot him. So the wife turned on and said, "Hey, why did you do that?" And the husband says, "That's 1." Okay, that's not so funny. And why? I know a color teacher, a bridal teacher, who teaches her brides in Yerushalayim, and the last class she gives is by the kotel. Why? Because she wants them to know what it feels like to be speaking to a wall. Ha ha ha. Again,
but you're Shalom Bayit teacher, aren't you? Shalom Bayit teacher as well, Shalom Bayit coach.
Well, the Shalom Bayit really, honestly, ladies and gentlemen, anyone who's listening, who's married or who's not married, please listen to me. Do you want there to be Shalom in the world? Of course we do. It's only going to happen if you've got Shalom in your home. Don't answer back. Just be happy with one another. Laugh together, joke together. It's not worth it. When there's peace in the home, there's peace in the world. I know it sounds like I'm preachy, but it's really true. You have to just
sorry, Ms. Karma, do you know what's the ultimate secret for Shalom Bayit, they say? I heard this from a big row.
Zip your lip.
No, bigger than that. The secret to Shalom Bayit is Shalom Bayit. But we can't even do that these days. We're stuck here at home. We can't exercise the Shalom. Rabbi, why Jacobs didn't find that joke funny either on the ski slopes for some reason. I thought it was brilliant, but get it? Shalom Bayit. Never. Okay, never mind.
No, it's true. You're absolutely right. We have to just laugh and just zip the lip. I think to lose weight and to have Shalom Bayit, just zip the lip, and that's it. That's all you have to do, because you can't otherwise. There's no 2 people stuck together in the home. It's not easy. What is the best method to increase our faith in God?
That's a great question. Thanks for segueing away from the comedy.
Honestly, I don't know about you guys, but I know that if I didn't talk to God, I cried to Him, I laughed to Him, I talked to Him. You just have to know He's there for us. And even if we can't see Him, because anything that we cannot see is very frightening. It's very not easy, but you know He's there. Just talk to Him. You know, He's our Abba. You know, like a real father is to us. Sometimes if a child wants 10 ice creams and the daddy says, "No, you're so mean, Daddy. I want those 10 ice creams." "Honey, it's not good for you." "No, but you're mean." "Abba, Hashem, I want 10 ice creams." When He doesn't give us, we think He's mean. He's doing good for us. He doesn't do anything with. How does one cope with mental health issues? And so, well, obviously, like a person needs to go to a doctor with physical lack of health, you obviously have to go to a correct mental health doctor, or someone you know you can really believe in. Just don't go to any person, because it can sometimes make it worse. Can medication help? Yes and no. If the right medication, it does help. If it's not medication, it won't. I find nowadays people are relying on a lot of natural remedies, like acupuncture. Everybody knows homeopathy is really, if you have the right person, it does wonders, really wonders. I have a lot of stories about homeopathy, how it can work. You want the right person.
And Mashali Bikur Cholim, sorry to interrupt, the Mashali Bikur Cholim actually announced today an amazing initiative to provide mental health services for those that are having issues, and to be able to, you know, refer them to doctors. And I'm not sure exactly how it works, but it was announced pretty broadly. So that's exciting.
Right. And I just want to mention here, I don't know if you guys used to come with me. I took a lot of people to the Babich Rebbe when he was in this world. I took a lot of people, but really busloads of people. And I want you to know something, that 15 years I had the undeserved merit to be close to him. And a lot of people had problems, and I would tell the Rebbe, this person has this problem, that problem. And the Rebbe used to tell me, and I'm just quoting, to tell his to advise when there's problems like this. Check your mezuzot, check your tefillin. These two things are very, very, very important. Beautiful question by Simon Zara. Do you think it's time to make up with someone you have been holding a grudge against? Please do that. I'm begging you, anyone who has a grudge, if you do it, I can promise you, not I can promise you, we know that when you make up with someone you're holding a grudge against, you're going to bring the gula, you're going to bring peace, you're going to take away all this stuff that's going on. Please do that. Can I share one more thing very, very important with you? It's very important.
Please do.
If a person gets insulted, let's say I'm insulted by somebody, okay? At that moment, I say, thank you, Hashem, for this. Please, and I ask anything I want at that moment. It works. I'm not just saying it. I'm not saying run around and ask people to insult you, but if and when it happens or people bother you or hurt you, please rejoice. Rejoice and say, Hashem, I want this and this. I speak around the world. Once I don't know where I was, Australia, wherever I was, and I mentioned this, and this lady comes up to me later and tells me, Mrs. Karmely, you mentioned about if someone insults you, ask anything. She said someone was very rude to me and hurt me. At that moment, I just prayed for this woman who I knew couldn't have children for many years. And she told me that it really worked. That woman conceived and had a baby. So we're not running around looking to be insulted. But hey, who are we? If someone insults us, it's like if someone has a spot in the garment and you have to remove it. How do you remove it? Not just with touching it with water. You have to scrub it. So Hashem is just erasing anything that we did that was not positive in our lives. And just realize, again, it's not about me. To just nullify yourself. There's no room in this world for an arrogant person and Hashem. We're grateful for what we do have. What we don't have, it means I don't need it. And that's really the bottom line. Gratefulness is your attitude, really. What you do. You don't become happy by being grateful. You become happy by being grateful, not grateful by being happy. So just laugh and just put music on and dance and laugh and just enjoy yourselves. Now you're together with your family. When do we have a chance ever to have time with our family? So enjoy it. And Pesach is coming very soon. Take it easy. Enjoy. Pesach, they say chametz, they say dust is not chametz, and the children are not the korban Pesach. Enjoy it and enjoy it and enjoy.
The children and the husbands, I heard.
The husbands also? Oh, the husband, come on. God bless them.
Mrs. Karmely, do you have any anecdotes? One anecdote, like the anecdote that stands out the most for you from the Lubavitcher Rebbe when you would go to him?
Oh, wait a minute. What about self-defense? If someone's coming to kill you, kill them first. Mike Hakimi. Nobody ever says, we don't do turning of the cheek. That's not us. If someone's coming to hurt you, you hit them back. I'm talking to somebody really insults you or wants to hurt you. Hurting back doesn't work. Just stay away from that person. Duri dusti. And just do what you got to do, you know? I have many, many anecdotes about the Lubavitcher Rebbe. I've got too many to mention. There's so many different... okay, just one I'll just mention over here. You don't know who the couple is. Many, many years ago. This is before he used to give dollars. I was very close to him. I would go to him all the time. Do I have time for stories? Okay.
Go for it. We paid for a half hour. Now we're in bonus time now.
Okay. This really happened actually to my sister. You ready for this? It really happened many years ago when my son David was becoming bar mitzvahed. This is many, as you know now, he himself is a grandfather of Hashem 2 times over. So what happened was this. I have a sister older than myself, and she had a horrendous marriage. She got divorced, to nobody's surprise. She had a daughter who she loved very dearly, and she was very angry with God. Why do bad things happen to good people? And she turned away from God in every way. But sooner or later, everybody comes back, and she started learning what God says about marriage. Rambam says a husband should honor his wife, yoter midai, and honor her more than himself and love her as himself. Of course, he also said a wife should make her husband the king, then she'll be the queen. Anyway, what happened was she decided she was going to come to New York for my son's bar mitzvah. And this was many, many years ago, 38 years ago. And she said, I'm coming for David's bar mitzvah, and do me a favor, fix me up with a good shidduch. I'm ready to get married again. See if you can find me a good date, shidduch date. I want to get married again. So I was so happy. Oh, finally, she wants to get married again. But I was new to the States. I did not know too many people. So I asked a very good friend of mine who lives in Crown Heights. Her name is Rivka. I said, Rivka, do me a favor. Please find someone for my sister. She's suffered so much in her life. I really want her to marry someone who can give her all the love and nurturing she did not get the first time around. Well, she checked around for a really good person. She said, there's someone perfect for your sister. The only problem is he lives in the Midwest. He's a famous doctor, a shrink. He's very special. But the only thing is he's so busy and he's so in demand. He says, I don't have time. No way I can come to New York and visit your sister. I said, Rivka, just keep nudging him and seeing maybe he'll come. What I did next, what I did every single day, I used to drive from my home in Queens to Crown Heights, 770. Now stand in the lobby of 770. The mincha time, 3:15. The Lubavitcher Rebbe would come out of his office on the left-hand side, walk across the lobby, pray mincha, and go again. Go back into his room. And that particular day I went in, I wrote a little note asking a bracha for my sister. And something funny happened. You should know, both times when the Rebbe came out of his room and he went back again, he looked at me, there's a little crowd of people. He knew me already very well, but he's giving me this huge smile and nodding at me, and it's like people noticed. They said, what was that all about? Why is he laughing and smiling at you like this? I said, I don't know. I just wrote a note asking a bracha for my sister Leah, who I wanted to get married. Well, what happened was this. My sister flew in from London. She comes to my home and I'm telling her, I'm working on finding someone for you. Hopefully it's going to work out. She says, thank you, Sarah, but no thank you. I said, what do you mean no thank you? You told me yes, now you're telling me no? Well, she said, I don't know how to tell you this, but I kind of was sitting next to somebody on the plane. We hit it off and we have a date tomorrow in Crown Heights. I said, give me a break. Who's going to pick on a plane? You don't know who he is, please. No, she said, it's just a date. I'm embarrassed to tell you what comes next. I went with my sister on her date. I mean, I had to drive her in, but I forgot to leave, if you know what I mean. I was very protective of them. So I'm sitting between them. I'm looking at him and looking at her, and I see they really had chemistry. They liked one another. After about 2 hours of talking, they kind of realized they're not getting rid of me. He left. They exchanged phone numbers and information. Well, what happened was the following. When he left, I told my sister before he went home, we're here in Brooklyn, let's go upstairs to Rivka's apartment and tell her to forget about the other guy. You can't have two at the same time. She was fine. We went upstairs to her apartment, we had a cup of tea, we told her what happened. Finally, she says, what's the guy's name? As soon as he said his name, she burst out crying. She says, I don't believe this, she said. This is the same guy. I've been working and calling, and he keeps giving me reasons and excuses that I don't have time to fly in. What happened? What happened was, he lived in Cleveland, Ohio. He's a psychologist. What happened, he went to Israel on a trip. Coming back to New York, his plane makes a stopover in London. My sister gets on that same flight, and who do you think Hashem puts next to one another? These two. But the funny part was this. They had both changed their seats. He was sitting next to somebody with a screaming baby. Men aren't crazy against screaming babies. My sister was sitting next to somebody with a bad cold. She changed her seat. And they sat next to one another. And they hit it off. About a month or so later, they decided they'd get engaged. They told the Rebbe, and the Rebbe said, not in these words, what, get engaged at your age? Get married, Digay. What are you waiting for? Because neither were spring chickens, if you know what I mean. My sister was 40. She thought her life was over. It was just beginning. She married this wonderful man, and Hashem blessed them with 4 beautiful children. And Hashem never closed the door for another. Exactly a month before her daughter got married from her first marriage, Hashem blessed her with another daughter. She had 3 boys and a girl. It was funny because under the chuppah, the rabbi who made the speech, he said, marriage isn't made in heaven. This one was made right up there in heaven. After that, when my sister would fly alone, her husband would tell her, careful who you're sitting next to this time. Why am I telling you this true story? You can't even make this up. Because years went by, And she said, I told my sister, I'm so happy for you, Leah. I'm so happy. Now you have all the love you did not get first time around. I wish you had this the first time around. I'll never forget what she told me. She said to me, please don't think we don't have difference of opinion. Don't think we don't argue. My dear friends out there, please listen to me. Anyone who says they don't have arguments in the marriage, they're either lying or they're not talking to each other. Normal to have difference of opinion. But she says, now when we have difference of opinion, there's no more fights, my ego against his. We go to the local rabbi, we say, I want this, she wants this. What does Hashem want? And he decides according to Torah. And she says, who knows, she says, if I'd had God in my first marriage, maybe I'd have still been married to him. This is shocking because they had a horrible relationship. But I thought, she's right. Hello. When you have Hashem in your marriage, the best third partner is Hashem. I'm going to end up with this good news for everybody to know. Every marriage has God in it. He's a third partner. Think of a triangle, a solid geometric shape. Triangle is a solid geometric shape. That's your marriage. Hashem, you, and your spouse. So just realize Hashem is your partner. And so make him happy, make him proud. Make the home full of simcha, shalom. The shalom is one of God's names. When you have shalom bayit, you have everything. Everything. Money, health, everything comes when you have shalom. So let's bless one another in this time of need. Everyone should have the true shalom and love for one another, as well as love for Hashem, love for one another. Hashem loves us when we love each other. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. I clap on behalf of everyone here. I'm sure we still have 50 plus people here. Great story, and thank you very, very much. Really, we thank you all. I thank on behalf of the entire community for you taking time out of your day to
God bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Have a wonderful night, and stay safe, everybody.
And happy Pesach, everybody.
Well, we'll see you before then. Come on, we're going to do this regularly.
Anytime, I'm pleased. Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you. Kol tov. Bye-bye.